except for its only occupant, Yolanda Prescott, age 29, fashion designer and hairstylist, best friend to his brother's mate. Unlike his brother, Keanu tried to stay by his ward's side, only leaving to tend to personal matters from time to time. For the most part, he kept her hidden away in the Versa realm. It was safer that way. The less time she spent out in the open, the less drama they experienced. But Yolanda had a way of wrapping Keanu's pup around her finger.
Come on! I'm tired of being cooped up in the Upside Down. This isn't Stranger Things.
Yolanda could see the series reference went right over Keanu's head. She flicked her long, white acrylic nails in the air in frustration.
Look, my shop is my baby, my livelihood. When this is all over, I have to have something to come back to. Haven't you ever heard of doing things in decency and order?
Yolanda fussed. Keanu didn't argue with Yolanda. He knew better than anyone what it meant to leave behind what you loved. So without fuss or fight, he escorted Yolanda so she could retrieve her things. The black tourmaline crystals above the door tinkled and clanged as they entered the salon. Keanu's eyes darted up and his inner beast growled as a brief snap of energy rolled over him. A mystic barrier. I haven't come across one of these in the ages.
Oh shit now! Who's this handsome jock you got coming up in here, honey?
Thelma Ray chastised, while leaning out of the dryer, catching herself an eyeful.
You're too young to even know what to do with all that. Send him over to me, Yolanda.
The women in the shop giggled and batted their eyes Keanu's way. The tall brute just smiled, sucking in all the attention. Yolanda replied with a playful wink.
Nah, this here is my white boy. Go get your own.
One customer asked,
You got yourself a white boy for real? Uh-huh. You got a problem with that?
Not one objection left anyone's mouth, and with a Yolanda wandered to the back to retrieve a few more of her belongings. This was all a guise, but that was something Yolanda could never disclose. Keanu made it painfully clear he only wanted to keep his ward safe. Yolanda hurried over to the computer, clearing her schedule for the next 4 weeks. After a quick chat with the salon manager about which clients to split with the other stylist, Yolanda's salon business was squared away. She cut her eyes to where Keanu stood. His long blondish brown hair sat high in a top knot. If Yolanda didn't know any better, she would swear he was just a ruggedly handsome biker. Keanu felt her looking his way, but he ignored it, opting to silently check out her station instead. The salon was more impressive than he had imagined. She had decorative gray marble counters with bright-colored walls, all splashed in shades of yellow and beige. Various crystals and charms hung from the ceiling. It matched her style, avant-garde meshed with Afrocentric chic. Keanu stepped closer to the booth he assumed was Yolanda's. Her scent was the strongest there. The air around her station hummed with energy, but he couldn't pinpoint it. He carefully looked over at her crystals and trinkets lined up near a silver-gilded picture frame of an elderly woman. He was just about to reach for it when Yolanda announced that she was ready to leave. Where do your people hail from? Keanu flicked a bundle of sage resting on the end of the receptionist counter.
My grands was Haitian and Creole. She told me her people came over as slaves. That's all I know. I don't have much of a family.
Keanu flashed back to a distant memory. He could still smell the musty stench of the wetlands and hear the rhythmic chanting as if it was a distant dream. The bayou, go figure. Yolanda wanted to talk further, but Keanu returned to being his stoic self, no longer interested in her backstory. It had only taken 2 days of being Keanu's ward for Yolanda to find out where Keanu drew his boundary line. He was playful and talkative at times, but when it came to keeping her safe, he was all business. And in his eyes, Yolanda was only business. It was no secret that she found him attractive, but Yolanda's #1 rule was to never chase a man. Keanu had made it clear he wasn't interested, so she left it at that.
If I'm going to be gone for a while, I need to end things with my boyfriend too.
Keanu grunted and dropped her off. Without uttering a word of complaint, he parked the car and just watched and waited.
Do you guys sleep?
Yolanda questioned him when he picked her up the following morning at 7 a.m. Not like you do. His words were blunt and quick. Why the fuck is my pup so damn cranky? Yolanda eyed him for a moment, then shrugged off his attitude.
So what, you sleep upside down like bats do, hanging from trees? I'm trying to keep the conversation going, but I'm dead ass serious.
Keanu smiled at her, but didn't reply.
Are you similar to vampires? You know, the whole stake to your heart type of thing?
No. They drove in silence for a while, listening to the rhythmic sound of the car's tires rolling over the snow. Yolanda suddenly blurted out,
You can call me Yo-Yo, by the way.
Okay, Yo-Yo, if that's your preference, Keanu grunted.
And you can talk to me anytime you want. I'm pretty talkative. I've always been like this, but I talk even more when I'm nervous. I'm not saying you make me nervous, I'm just saying this is some hectic shit, and I'm familiar with the powers that be, but I've never actually come face to face with the power except this one time in the bayou.
Yolanda pursed her lips when Keanu's expression turned cold. Why would I want to do that? Get to know you, that is.
Seeing as you don't talk much,
She explained.
I know some guys are like that, all shut-mouth and shit, but I didn't know y'all white, demons were the same way too. If you haven't guessed, I sometimes ramble on and on. So we should get to know one another, right? That should liven things up a little bit between us. Ain't we gonna be living together for a while?
Yo-Yo, we are not living together. I've been asked to protect you, that's all. It just happens to mean that we'll be in the same area or room for most of the time.
So that's the same damn thing. You just made it sound cold.
Yolanda rolled her eyes and shrugged. I find you and the way you word things kind of cold. He sighed, stroking his long beard as he looked out towards the road. Yolanda laughed, throwing her head back. She watched as Keanu flicked the signal light and changed lanes, then replied with a posh British accent.
Pardon me, good sir, but I speak that way when I'm with my friends. It's called jolly good code switching. That certainly doesn't mean I'm dim-witted. Might I disabuse that impression?
When Keanu looked at her again, it was with genuine interest. They drove the rest of the way to their hideout in silence. Yolanda was no longer interested in making friends.
I need a shower. Can we get a room instead of going to that building in that weird-ass dimension?
It's called the Versa Realm, Keanu corrected.
Yeah, I don't want to go back there.
Keanu groaned. Her giving him a hard time was the last thing he needed. It was safer in the Versa Realm. Being alone with her in a hotel room was a recipe for disaster. He had already discovered she had a habit of walking around with no clothes. He lifted his legs slightly, hiding the thickened imprint under his jeans.
Hello, Earth to Keanu.
Yeah, that shouldn't be a problem. But it's best we head away from the city if you want to do that. He eyed the expressway signs, then careened the car left and headed towards Schererville, Indiana. When Keanu pulled up to a rundown Super 8 off Lincoln Highway, Yolanda had a natural-born fit.
I swear to God, you better be playing. I'm not bougie, but baby, I'll be damned if you think my black ass is sleeping in that dirty piece of shit.
Keanu gave her a look, and she shot him a look right back. Her heavy lashes flittered like little hummingbird wings. Fine.
I know it's fine. What the fuck you thought bringing me here? Do I look like Super 8 material?
Keanu paused. His murky green eyes trailed over her short platinum blonde pixie tresses, studying the way her eyebrows arched and the way her upper lip bowed up. He also took note of the horseshoe-shaped mole to the left of her chin and observed how her collarbone flexed every 2.8 seconds after taking a breath, then looked away. Fuck. Hell yeah. I see you. You're all I keep thinking about. I apologize. I didn't think, and I'm sorry. And no, I don't think you are only Super 8 worthy. I viewed this as a hideout and did not consider your comfort. I can admit when I'm wrong, and I'm sorry if you are upset. Yolanda's mouth fell open. Never in her life had a man actually admitted he was wrong, nor validated her feelings. She couldn't do or say anything, so she sat back and enjoyed the ride. Keanu pulled out his phone and reserved an Airbnb on Bell Lane. If she wanted comfort and privacy, this was the best he could do on short notice. He didn't want to linger too long near the Kickapoo wolf pack lands.